So every year for Christmas, me and my wife buy a new Christmas decoration. And we don't really celebrate Christmas by buying gifts because that gets crazy expensive. Our Christmas decoration pretty much is our Christmas gift. So we choose very wisely, right? So this year we went to Lowe's and I was blown away when I saw a 10-foot tall snowman. 10-foot tall, 5 feet wide, absolutely gorgeous. We got ours at Lowe's, and it was about $500. The prices online seem to be $500 to $600. So, yeah, there he is. I'm gonna be doing an unboxing and putting this together, and this is my Christmas present. So I'm extremely excited to get him out and put him together for you guys to see. All right, so first things first, this box is massive, about 2.5 feet tall, 4 feet by 3 feet. It is gigantic. I have a Tesla SUV, could barely get it home in that. I really recommend you get a truck. Here's my size 12 USD foot, and there's the box. So hope this gives you an idea. You need something massive to get this home. So the first thing you got to do is get your wife's very expensive Japanese knife that she hates for you to touch because it's expensive and only used on expensive meats, but you don't care. You need it for what you need it for. So first thing I had to do is get that expensive knife and go ahead and, oh yeah, that is smooth. Thank you. Thank you, my beautiful, loving wife, because that was an amazing cut. I'm going to be honest with you guys. That cut was way smoother than I expected. I was joking around, but wow, that was amazing. So here we go. All right, what's inside? What does Bumble look like unassembled? Oh my gosh, it looks really bad. All right, first things first. Don't return the product to the store. Yeah, I could have figured that. Oh man, this looks. I'm already getting intimidated. I'm not gonna lie. I put together some big things. I put together a 13-foot jack last year, but I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, this looks like work. All right, so it took me approximately 20 minutes to get everything out of the box. There was probably about 30 zip ties I had to cut. This is a 9-foot pool table, one of the biggest ones you can buy. And as you can see, I mean, I had to put stuff on the floor. Pool table isn't big enough. So now it's probably going to take me another 15 minutes just to get all the stuff out of the bubble wrapping and any other zip ties I got to cut. So take a short break. Okay, that looks a lot better now that everything's been taken out. And just to give you an idea, most people say I got pretty big hands, and not really, right? So, and there's his head. Wow, that looks so cool. That's what really sold me on it. And his eyes will light up, and also his other hand is holding this big star right here, and that star as well will light up. So, can't wait. All right, so this isn't easy to do, but hopefully you get the idea. It is massive. I'm 210 pounds, so I don't have like a abnormally small Beetlejuice head or anything. It is huge. All right, I think I have almost everything ready to start assembling. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the parts list. Just make sure I got every single last part before I start assembling. And then after that, I'll start getting rid of this trash. So time for another short break. And thus it begins. I had a really hard time. It took me 20 minutes to find that bar, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. I was looking for a bar labeled as ST1, and I couldn't find it. This bar says ST2, and it has the number 1 on it. So couldn't possibly be the bar I was looking for. I was about to call the company, tell them they gave me the wrong part. When I realized at the bottom of this bar, it says ST1, so I connected my ST1 to my ST1. I've never seen bars labeled like that with 3 different markings, but these are very complex. There's going to be a lot of different things that are connecting to this one bar, so don't make my same mistake. Look at each bar really, really good, and you probably have it. I'm ashamed to admit it, but the next step took me about 5 minutes. It kept showing in the picture there was something that connected from here to here and here to here. I went everywhere looking for the part, not realizing that this part was already right here. It was just laying right here on both sides, and you just take it up and pop it in and put this on, and it took like 1 minute once I figured out where it actually was. So it's already connected to the frame. You don't have to go find it anywhere. Finally, a part that made sense. No confusion. Just big. Slide the giant feet over the poles. Pop them down into place. Complete. Next step wasn't too horrible. This oval ring, just got to make sure it snaps into both sides when you put it on. Simple enough. The next step, I'm not so sure about. Alright, next it had me put several more of these into place. 1, 2, 3. So there's a total of 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I believe there's 4. No, 5. There's 5 now on here. And you just match the colors in the way it showed you with the picture. I believe that's so once you stack everything up, all the poles, it's already on there and you can just put them into place. So kind of sucks, but not too hard. One of the easier things so far. All right, the next 2 pieces are ST2 and ST5. You can easily tell what they are because they got the ropes. You put the ropes towards the feet. At least that's what it looks like in the picture. It was smooth sailing, except for me. This piece was not formed right, so I had to use this rubber hammer to really beat it, and it was pretty horrible, but easy enough. All right, so just like the instructions say, you let the box support the whole thing, lean it over like it is, and then you put on this shoulder piece. It is a good thing I did not put this rubber hammer away, because same thing happened with this piece. The mold just wasn't correct, and you really had to slam it with the rubber hammer to make it work. Couldn't just do it by hand, which is going to be horrible for disassemble later, but still got it together for now. Okay, this is the middle shoulder wire frame, and it snapped right in. This is finally something very, very easy. Got it on here in 30 seconds. All right, the next step, I had to attach this to the head, this to H1 to H1 and H2 to H2. Unfortunately, I had a problem again where this was misshapen, and I had to use a rubber hammer and pound it in. If you have to do the same thing, just be very careful. You don't want to damage the face, trying to hammer that thing in or being too strong with it. So just be really, really careful and make sure you use a rubber hammer. Okay, so next we had to attach the head and a bunch of other small steps. So attaching the head itself was pretty easy. All you did was connected the H to the H right here. Very simple. The next step was, there's a spring right here. You just connect that spring onto this little hook here. And then the next step, the wiring. The MT connects to the MT. The LED connects to the LED. Very simple, right? You're just connecting the wires. You just did a spring. You just put H to H. The next step was slightly more confusing. You had to remove this right here, pull out the pin and remove it. Then this is called the arm. You put the arm through and then you connect it back. The reason that you're doing all that is because now when this moves, it will make the mouth move. And that's all you're doing. You're just connecting the wiring, connecting the neck, and doing this and this so that the mouth will be able to open and close. So a little confusing when you're reading it, but actually pretty easy over and all. Okay, this next part wasn't too hard. You've got the HT2 right here. You just connect it to the part that says HT2. On the other side, you have the HT1. You just connect it to the side that says HT1. Well, you can see the overall circular shape that it makes. And then you get this big piece of hard plastic. And there's 6 of these. You put it through and tighten it, and it just holds it into place. And that's just to protect the wiring from the rain. So time consuming, probably took about 15 minutes, but not hard to do. Hoping I'll be able to get this thing out my front doors once it's put together. It's getting bigger and bigger. But the next step wasn't too hard. You see how it says HB1? Just connect the HB to HB1 and HB2 to HB2, and then there's another one on the other side. And then same thing with this piece. This is HB3, HB4, and then another one. So there's 3 pieces that go in for this one and 3 pieces that go in for this one, but very, very simple to figure out. Finally, maybe the easiest one I've done so far. It's just this piece. You put HB5 into HB5. It's sliding right in. All right, the instructions had me pull his white Yeti fur over, and basically they call it a hook and loop, but it's kind of like you just Velcro the whole back from there all the way down. You Velcro it, and the next step is I got to put this thing. I got to make him stand up, which is not going to be easy. So I just really got to show you this. So I'm 5'9" and 210 pounds. And as you can see, I can reach up as high as I can. Makes no difference. It completely dwarfs me. It looks much bigger inside your home than it did when you saw it at Lowe's or whatever. So just keep that in mind. It is absolutely huge. All right, so the next step was attaching this piece, AD2 and AD1, and also AD4 and AD3. Essentially, you're making like a bird cage going around the bottom. You can just think about it like that. And then after you know, all you do is hook it on, and then you use these to tighten it. You got 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom on each side. Easy, but time consuming. All right, next I got a secure cable. So you just connect it right here to that hook by the head. You run it down through the center of all these until you get to the bottom one. You don't go to the center. You kind of go to the outside center right here. But they're still all inside. It's all inside the metal all the way down. And then you take this little pin out and you hook this one here. You put it back in. You put the little pin back on. And now it's much more secure. And honestly, it's not even all the way together yet. It's not even in the ground or anything, but man, it would take a lot. It's a really strong build. Next, you attach the shoulder frames on both sides. I wasn't tall enough. The stickers actually appear. I wasn't tall enough to see if I had it in the right place, but you can pretty much tell from the picture. You're just matching the green with the green. And then on the other side, this is blue, and this is blue, so you can pretty much tell they're in the right position. All right, the next step confused me a little bit. You can see this red arrow after we, pulled up the whole chest piece, and you just attached it with these. There's just like 5 of these little things that you just Velcro. It has this arrow. And the reason there's an arrow is you have to find the wire and then stick it through the little hole right there. This Velcro that just attaches it to the back of that. But I couldn't figure out where it was, and the reason is it was down inside the shoes. So you got to dig around in the shoes so you finally find that wire, and then you can put it through. All right, finally. Oh man, I've been doing this for hours. Finally getting somewhere. It's just Velcro. You just pull this up and you Velcro to the head, and this pieces you Velcro by the shoulders to the head. Same thing on this side. There's a Velcro piece by the shoulder that goes to the head. And the hardest part was this right here. This is essential, so when people walk up, it automatically turns on. Underneath of this, there's another white. They call it the chest piece. Make sure you put that all the way through that hole. Make that hole a little bit bigger and put that all the way through, so then when you're done, you can reach in and grab it and put it into this hole. This is the hole that actually matters, that has to be pretty. The other hole, you can rip it and make it a little bit bigger to be able to put that sensor through. Next, you're just going to connect some wiring inside. Pretty simple. The wiring coming all the way from the head for the eyes. That is ME to ME, this pink to pink. And then that sensor that I was talking about in the front that sees the people, that is going to be SR to SR. Very easy to connect those two. All right, so now we're at the part where we're assembling the arms. I found the best way to do it was to put the part that's going to attach. So in this case, this is going to attach to the left side. So you're going to put this through the small hole on this side, and then put your arm through the bigger side. Put your arm through until you're able to grab it and then pull it all the way through. That's the only way I could do it. It was absolutely horrible. So I'm not going to put any more together, and you can see the assembled arm. Once you get that arm in the pillow like I just showed you, you simply attach it the way we've been attaching the whole time. It's color coordinated. And then the hand was exactly the same thing. It's color coordinated, it snaps on. And then you got Velcro all around the hand. That's to make it nice and stay in place. So very frustrating, but hopefully with that tip, it'll be easier for you to do the hand. But I'm looking at my doors, and my double doors are 6 feet wide, which I thought was more than enough. But I'm looking at the size of this guy, and I think if I put that other arm on, I won't be able to get him out of the front door. So I'm going to take a nice break and then start assembly once I get him outside. All right, so it took a lot of work to get him moved just 10, 15 feet outside into position. I'd recommend just building him in the spot that you're going to keep him, because I didn't realize it would be so hard. He only weighs 60 or 70 pounds. But those are cars, by the way, and look how big he is. He only weighs 60 or 70 pounds, but he's so bulky. For me and my wife to move him without breaking other stuff throughout the house we actually almost broke something. So, yeah, I definitely have him the position you're going to keep him at when you start building them. But I used the technique I told you about on this arm. I haven't attached the hand yet. But man, I did it in only a minute versus 15 minutes with this one. So yeah, definitely use that arm technique I told you about. And let's get this thing done. Okay, I think I am ready to go as far as I can tell. Everything's done. I just got to plug it in. It definitely took me a solid 3 hours. I think if I did it again, I could do it in 2 hours or less. But not easy. Look at him. He's so big.